Hello Hilltoppers, I am incredibly excited about so many more of you being back in the building next week on Tuesday, January 19th to start our second semester. Before we do so, there are a couple of changes I need to make you aware of, as well as some reminders about things we last talked about back in October when we were here in fall. The most important thing to start the day with is something that happens before you even leave your house in the morning, and that's looking at symptoms and going through that self-screening process. When you're going through that self-screening process, you're looking at the first column on the left. Do you have any of these single symptoms? Or in the second column, have you had two of the following symptoms in the last 24 hours? And then also thinking about, have you been identified by some agency, by the school district, by a medical institution as being a close contact? This attachment has been included within this communication. It's imperative that we review this every morning before coming to school. Now, after you've gone through that self-screen at home, when you're coming to school, some things to know. The doors will open at 7:15 a.m. When you come in the building, if you want to get breakfast, you can do so. You can eat in the commons and then go to your first hour class or your second hour class, depending what day of the week it is. If you're a student who walks to school or if a parent drops you off, you'll be coming in our B doors by the PAC, just like you have in the past. If you're a student who drives to school, or if you ride a bus to school, you'll be coming into P doors by the commons. In fall, we had the door at the end of the field house open. We will not be doing that when we return for second semester. Two other key things before we go inside the building. Make sure we're always thinking about that 6-foot distancing. We'll talk throughout this video about what that looks like between classes, in the hallway, what that looks like in the commons, at lunch, and also what it looks like, of course, within the classrooms where you'll be spending the bulk of your day. And the last thing before we enter the building is the importance of wearing your mask. I put my mask on before I got out of my car in the morning in the parking lot. When you put your mask on, make sure that your mask covers your nose as well as your mouth. You cannot use a gaiter, you cannot use a handkerchief or anything else. It does have to be a face mask. We do have extra face masks here if you're in need of one. With that said, let's go in the building and talk about the other changes. Students, there are a couple of things I need you to bring to school every single day when you're in person. The first one, make sure you bring your earbuds to school every day. Make sure you bring your charger in case your Chromebook isn't charged, and also make sure you bring your Chromebook. By all means, the best thing to get in the habit of every night, just like you probably charge your phone, make sure you're also charging your Chromebook. The other thing to be thinking about, bring your water bottle. As you learned in October when we were here, the water fountains are shut off for their traditional use. The water bottle fillers are still available. Make sure you always have your water bottle because, as you know, you do get dry by wearing a mask for most of the day. Students, the first thing to remember about our schedule for blended learning is determining if you're in Group A or Group B. Remember, when you go into Power School, you can see on the top, underneath your name, as shown on the screen, where it will say either Group A or Group B. The second thing to remember is that in all of our 5-day weeks, the normal 5-day week, Group A will attend school in person on Monday and Thursday. Group B will attend school in person on Tuesday and on Friday. As I shared earlier this semester, when we return for blended instruction, we'll be using a block schedule. There are several advantages to doing that during our blended format. The first thing is that for students not in the building, you're managing 4 classes instead of 8 classes. So that should make it considerably easier to manage those transitions. Likely, it will make it much easier in the school in terms of managing transitions between class periods. We cut those in half. It'll allow teachers more time to get things set up with Zoom for students that are Zooming in, and allow more time for teachers to work directly with students on any given day. You'll notice that one change, though, from our current virtual block is that odd-hour courses are on Monday and Friday, and then even-hour courses on Tuesday and Thursday. We had to make that change by flipping Thursday and Friday so that teachers see their students at least one day a week, regardless if they're even-hour courses or odd-hour courses. From 2:05 to 2:50, we have that resource time. All students will be assigned to a resource time, just like we would do during normal time. We will have some honors areas set up around the building where we can accommodate more students in less structured settings, where students who are doing very well in all of their courses have some more freedom during that time. Lunch will look like it does during an extended learning period during normal time. What that looks like is that based on who your 5th hour teacher is, or your 6th hour teacher, depending if it's odd or even courses that day, you'll have A lunch, which means you have lunch before class. You'll have B lunch, which means that you have lunch in the middle of class, or you'll have C lunch, which means it happens after either 5th hour or 6th hour, depending on the day. Finally, our Wednesday will look very similar to how it currently looks, with a couple of new wrinkles in it. We'll still have homeroom at 8:30. We'll have resource periods at 8:50, at 9:35, and at 10:20. You'll also have asynchronous work to work on Wednesday. So teachers will give you those short lessons on Wednesday to work with. In order to ensure that some of our AP classes are able to get the extra time that they need in order to have students be successful in May on the AP exams, we will have AP time slots on Wednesday. So for example, AP Calculus might have a standing time on Wednesday where that class meets, where all of Mr. White's AP students in AP Calculus meet in order to have extra time for instruction for that AP course. Your AP teachers will be communicating those time frames to you as second semester begins. Students, one thing that's consistent, as you can see behind me, desks are still spaced 6 feet apart to ensure that we're maintaining that physical distancing. One change though from October, in October we clean desks between every class period. We'll still have those sanitation supplies available in any classroom for the need, or if a student prefers that. However, one of the key changes that the Harvard plan emphasizes is that instead of frequent cleaning of something like a desktop, it's much more important for that frequent sanitizing or cleaning of your hands. Keep in mind that by all of our classroom doors, there's a hand sanitation unit, and I encourage you, as you walk into the class, put a squirt on your hands, wipe through your hands as you walk to your desk. Another key mitigation impact that we'll have in place. Students, lunch will work the same way that it did in fall. Students within the commons, the hallway, as well as the mezzanine will all be spaced 6 feet apart so that you can safely take off your mask, eat, and enjoy that downtime between classes. Like in fall, you'll have a choice between 2 hot lunch items every day. There will not be the salad bar, and there will not be a la carte to start. A la carte will likely start up in 2 to 3 weeks once everything else is moving smoothly within the lunch periods. Students, as I shared in the very beginning of the video, I am incredibly excited to have more of you back in the building. A couple of quick reminders as we finish our time together that are imperative for all of us, students, staff, and parents, to remember as we move forward this semester. First and foremost, follow those guidelines we talked about earlier. Make sure you're wearing your mask. Make sure you're wearing your mask appropriately. Maintain the distancing between people. If you get called and are told that because of contact tracing, you need to quarantine, make sure you do that. Don't cut the time period short. Don't try to argue about it. Just please follow the contact tracing guidelines, follow those quarantine guidelines, and cooperate to the fullest extent so that all of our students, all of our staff, and our community can be as healthy as possible as we move forward into the next stages of COVID. I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of you next week. As you have questions, please reach out to your counselor. Please reach out to one of the administrators. Thank you.